Welcome to the North and Mouth podcast. We're all gonna fucking die!
Can I get rid of this fucking thing now?
You can,
I
yeah.
can't see. Steaming my glasses up. Right, topic number 1 this week. The Wuhan flu.
Wuhan flu.
China disease, whatever it's called. Coronavirus, not the beer.
Which I think, I'm wheezing now, I think has a nice ring to it. Wuhan flu.
Wuhan flu. Yeah, it sounds good.
It sounds good.
Better than SARS.
SARS.
Yeah, which was depressing.
Where shall we begin?
China?
Let's start. Right. First of all,
Yes.
the coverage on this is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, it's phenomenal. Yeah. It's just dominated the news this week. Especially to say that there's very few... I'd rather die from Wuhan flu. To say that the overall amount of people infected is reasonably low.
Yeah.
Like, incredibly low. I've heard a lot about it.
Do you know what? I thought... I was interested to see, like, comparing it to other people, other deaths and everything.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people die a year from flu?
At least 12.
Every year in the UK.
Just the UK?
Just the UK, 8,000 die every year in the UK on average from flu.
And that's not getting infected, that's deaths.
That's
flu.
deaths, yeah. Flu or complications from flu. It's made.
And we have a vaccine for flu.
This is why loads of old people go for flu jabs. Because it does kill
they
people.
probably shouldn't, to be fair.
Kill them off.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the media coverage on this is so... Every day you hear... You don't hear like a rational cover of it.
No.
It's always... dum dum, and it'll be...
Everybody's going to get this. It's death.
It's a worldwide epidemic. It's a worldwide emergency. The death toll continues to rise. I guarantee you, in the amount of time that this has been going, there's probably been the same amount of people in the world that have died falling down the stairs.
More, I'd say, because the death rate for this is 2%, apparently. 2% of people that get this die. I think we've only had about 5 deaths.
No, there's been 170 to date.
Oh, is there?
170 to well, as we are recording this, it's been 170. I'm sure it will go up by the time this comes out.
Yeah.
But compared to how many people have been diagnosed,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's several
We're up
thousand.
to about just shy of 9,000 at the minute. And
there's that. Now, this is all people that have died in China as well.
Yeah. China's a little bit third world in places, I believe.
It's a big place as well. With
with a lot of people.
High population density, and that's where all the deaths are. But we don't get told that. The general coverage is, this is the amount of people that have been diagnosed. Yeah. This is the amount of people that have died. So you naturally assume watching it that that's the world.
Blowing it all out of proportion. Some people die, yeah, of course they will. People die crossing the road. You know? We do need a good plague.
You did say this before.
Yeah, I've mentioned this. I might have even mentioned it on the podcast.
You have, yeah.
Humanity does need a new plague. It's maybe 30, 40.
Maybe this one probably not the best one, really.
No, because a 2% death rate is pretty weak, isn't it?
But we have to. Now, this is another thing that really confused me. I don't think the coverage is good on it. The coverage is really over the top and ridiculous and whatever.
Yeah.
But it is understandable that you should take precautions, right?
Yeah.
With borders, telling people to stay in, because if it's new and they haven't worked out the...
UKIP Lewis.
What do you mean?
build a wall. Don't let anybody in.
No. I mean, like in
I get that
China,
because
they're telling people to stay in because they don't understand the makeup of it or whatever.
And yet they're going to let a flight with 200 potentially infected people into our country.
Did you hear where they were going to be housed?
The Wirral.
Northwest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, at a facility on the Wirral.
Yeah.
Which sounds very nice.
Yeah.
If you've never seen the Wirral.
Exactly. But did you see that? Yeah, this is what I was going to get to. So
I've seen some tweets and Facebook posts saying that the plane should be shot down and burned.
Russia, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Russia are good at shooting down planes. But there was a bit that someone was complaining that Australia were housing. They were going to take their infected on the plane and take them to Christmas Island, which is like
I'd get infected to go to Christmas
Island. No. Listen, have you seen Christmas Island? It's not exactly luxury.
Oh, I'm thinking of Easter Island.
The thing is with this, it's got a known past as being a refugee camp type place.
Refugee camp or concentration camp?
Refugee. Well, not refugee. Where they house people before they allow them in. Asylum seekers kind of thing. But there was all these people going. It's unbelievable how they're not even taking their sick to the mainland. They're housing them on this. Well, yeah, they're being quarantined.
Have you seen 28 Days Later? have you seen Zombieland?
Do you know what I mean?
Shaun of the Dead.
It's the smartest. Do you know what? Australia has probably got the smartest attitude where they've gone.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're not going to like risk everybody else coming
then
here.
Then again, there's only like 8 people live in Australia, and it's on fire. So
it is on fire. So if you can actually live in that country,
yeah. But all power
people
to
were
you.
Complaining about it. There was some woman that was going. It's absolutely ridiculous how. They're not even letting their infected come back to the mainland. They're keeping them on Christmas Island. It's like, it's a fucking quarantine.
People are idiots. We've discussed this before as well. Yeah, they are scum.
Did you? There was something that the Danish newspaper did.
No, I didn't see that one.
It made me burst out laughing when I saw it at work. So they had made a mock-up of a flag, a Chinese flag. But you know the way it's like the red with the yellow?
Yeah.
Instead of like the dots, it was germs.
Oh, I quite like that.
Yeah. And the Chinese complained and wanted an apology. And you know what the Danish journalist said?
Nah.
No. It's like, China wants to control our media. They can fuck off.
Yeah, they've got their own media to control.
Yeah, it was wonderful. But BA have stopped their
flights in and out. We played Plague Inc., the little mobile game.
Which has gone to number 1 again.
Yeah, great game.
It is a great game. I've only ever won it once.
Oh, no, I've won it a few times. Start wherever goes to Greenland.
Aren't you supposed to start it somewhere that's like...
Depends, because they close the borders very quickly in some of the countries.
Oh, of course they do, yeah. Start it.
Yeah.
I made one called the Sweats before, and it was in somewhere in Africa. Started in the middle of Africa. Called it the Sweats. And it was started off with something that was in warm conditions, and muggy or something like that. So it just went. So yeah, and also they developed a vaccine.
Already?
Well, in Australia, this is probably smarter people there. Well, they're not letting the infected back into the country. Yeah. I mean, if you were on that flight, right? Say you'd been in Wuhan,
yes,
and you were coming back. Wouldn't you expect to be quarantined away from everyone for 2 weeks? I mean, I would
assume so, yeah. But would you want to be quarantined on Christmas Island or the Wirral?
I'd probably just stay in China.
I'd probably stay on Melodies. Do you know what I was impressed with?
Go on.
China have built a 1,000-person hospital in 6 days.
6 days, yeah.
6 days.
Yeah.
Can't even have potholes filled in 6 days in this country.
I saw a nice post earlier on that said China can build a hospital in 6 days, and then it showed a picture of like a Manchester road, and it said Manchester Council takes 2 years to widen the road.
Yeah, it's insane. How long have they been working on M6? M60.
Do they ever?
Yeah, Ring Road around Manchester. They've had them average speed cameras on forever.
Oh, they still keep them on, even though there's nothing going on there.
Yeah. But you can build an hospital for 1,000 people in 6 days. They did it in 2002, 2003 for SARS. Took them 7 days then, so they're improving.
They've upped the game.
Yeah, getting better.
Well, I did you see there was a brilliant shot of all of the diggers, all on one flat, just like like
so
a fucking
coordinated.
Yeah, just like a nightmare. Like, oh my god! But that is quite impressive.
Yeah, very.
But it shows they're taking that shit seriously.
Yeah, well, the population density is that high that something like this could wipe out a lot of people over there.
True. Always starts in China, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, this it says on my notes that they think it started in a fish market.
Yeah.
Seafood market.
Yeah.
But
most of these people that have died and infected are from this area. Like from the Hubei province and
what's it like there? Bit third worldy? I'm guessing the hygiene standards at this seafood market were the best.
No, well, I got told this at work, so I won't take credit for it, but someone was saying that if China as China's got a city bigger than London that we didn't know about, what else are they hiding?
It's a fair point.
Had you ever heard of Wuhan?
No.
Bigger than London.
Yeah, it's an odd thought. They say the same about Russia, don't they? They've got these hidden cities, secret cities, and probably best not to worry about it. We've got other things to worry about, like Wuhan flu or Brexit.
Which we'll get to.
Which we will get to, but my theory is this is a cover-up for the entire shit show that is Brexit. This is the only reason this is in the news. Is this
a new angle for you to go back and dig at the Conservatives?
No, just
they've gone over to Wuhan.
I'm not saying they started.
Boris Johnson was behind a fish market.
Boris Johnson fucks a fish.
That was something else I saw. There was details about
Boris Johnson fucking a fish.
Some details about how to avoid the transmission.
Yeah, don't have sex with animals. I saw it. Yeah. Don't have unprotected sex with animals.
Of course, yeah. But by all means, knock yourself out if you're
put a rubber on it. Yeah. But yeah, I've got a bit of a theory that things like this dominate the news when something that the government wants to sweep under the rug is happening. Well, Brexit's tomorrow, apparently. We will get onto this.
Huawei.
Yeah, yes. Huawei have been allowed to have more input in the UK's 5G network. And, you know, all this has been swept through the news cycle by 8 people dying from, however many people have died from Wuhan flu in a third world country. Third world part of a not third world country, probably, potentially.
So you are saying they couldn't have sent Moggy over there because he's far too tall. He would have stood out.
Yeah, he would have stood out a mile, yeah.
Unless he... I don't know. It was, wasn't it? I don't know. I thought they dressed him up as a chicken or something. It was something to do with like some some sort of like infected animal that like. Yeah,
they think bats infected cats that have got fleas and infected people, something like that. Yeah,
sounds very plaguey.
It does sound a little bit plaguey, but then, you know, infection led to 2.2 on average. Blah blah blah. It's a bit more than ordinary flu, but far less contagious than some other respiratory diseases, such as whooping cough and tuberculosis. When the last time somebody that you know got either of those diseases? Which are more
1836,
infection. Yeah, something like that, yeah. Same time the last person got polio.
Have you had a TB jab?
Oh, I don't fucking know.
The one that leaves a dirty grey scar in your arm. See, I haven't got that, and loads of people that are my age and younger have all got this horrible scar on their arm from
I
TB
remember
jab.
It being a thing that people had the TB jab and then you'd go around punching people in the TB jab. I remember that from when I was at school.
That's usual kind of any injection I think you get at school. But TB, I don't know, I never...
They sort of skipped our year, I think.
I just thought... You're already bred that you won't be able to...
and I'm less worried about TB than I am about Wuhan flu, which I'm not worried about either.
Well, according to the media, you really should be, because the death toll is rising by the hour.
The death rate's at 2%. I will take those odds any day.
January 31st. What's happening? We're leaving, is what's happening. I mean, you would have voted against leaving because you're a massive Labour lefty prick.
Not quite.
No.
He
voted leave, bastard!
I did vote leave. I am a bastard, yeah. And it is the end. The longest fucking month ever. January. It's a terrible month. Terrible month. But it's alright. Because Brexit's happening. The UK formally leaves the European Union at 11 o'clock PM tomorrow. Tomorrow
when we record this, but by the time this comes out, we would have left. So if the world's gone to shit, you know.
Yeah, if Wuhan's got worse and Brexit's on fire and
it's
snowing in Australia, I don't fucking know what happens. I don't really know what we're expecting of Brexit, if I'm honest.
Well, I'm like Y2K. The world is not going to end as of Friday the 31st.
I vaguely remember the run up to Brexit and its domination of the news, and the big thing that they ran on was 350 million quid a week is what's paid to the EU,
which was bullshit.
Which was bullshit, but that's what the thing. So we'll leave on tomorrow, the 31st, but we will continue to pay the same amount of money to the EU and follow their rules.
For 11 months.
Yeah.
We've got 11 months of basically the same thing.
Yeah, more Brexit.
I mean, the agreement has been signed. I mean, I don't know if you saw that picture of Boris Johnson doing the...
I try and avoid looking at pictures of Boris Johnson, if I'm honest.
He was happily signing a thing. I did think it was a big unnecessary form that he had to fill in. And it was just this bit at the bottom where I just... like, it was about this big. And it's like he's giving him a pen, he's gone, Boris...
I imagine that's how he signs most things, to be honest. I have a little bit of a list of things that will change.
Go on.
And it's basically, we will be hearing a lot about trade. That's been happening a while. UK MEPs will lose their seats, no more EU summits. So we're paying for membership that we can no longer use.
Of which, did you see them in the Nigel Farage and all of them?
I try and avoid Nigel Farage.
Well, in the EU Parliament, but they were all singing Auld Lang Syne when it got okayed for some reason. They all started standing up and singing and dancing, and you've got Nigel Farage talking. They've got all these interviews with him, and he's doing that sort of thing, like portraying himself as this conquering hero, where he's going, I came in here 25 years ago, and my whole intention was to get us out the EU, and today we've done. And it was almost as if he wants to be standing there with a sword above his head, just sort of like.
Yeah.
And now I'm done.
Do you think we'll get a new bank holiday like America's have Independence Day?
I should fucking hope so, because I'm born on the 23rd of April, St George's Day. Every other country gets the day off. St Patrick's Day, it's a day where they get off and they get smashed. But yet I always have to book my birthday off. Never work on my birthday.
All right. But on this list, the only two things that really happen. Passports will change colour
to blue.
Yeah, but I've got 6 years left on my passport and it'll still be valid, so that won't affect me for a long time. And some Brexit 50p coins.
Can I get to that?
Please.
Right, did you see the promo stuff for that?
No.
So the picture was Sajid Javid. You know who he is?
Is he the Mayor of London?
No, he's the Chancellor.
No, then.
So they released this 50p, and to quote, it says on it, peace, prosperity and friendship with all nations. And there's a picture of Sajid Javid holding this 50p up to the camera, and he looks like he's been crying, and he's almost like, I'm really happy about this, because I think he voted Remain.
There was, there's also a punctuation mistake on it.
Oh, is there?
There should be what's called an Oxford comma in there. Which is a comma before the and when it's multiple words for the last one.
Right.
It's a bit niche, but it is a mistake.
Right. Okay.
It's a very British comma, the Oxford comma. And I did see that some Remain supporters have said that they will refuse to accept that 50p in their shops, and some more that were saying they will mark everyone with permanent marker with "I love the EU" or something like that.
Oh no, the one I saw was a bloke that had Tipp-X'd it and then marked a swastika on it.
Bit much. I'd probably refuse to accept that.
What, the swastika? Yeah, probably, yeah. Soiled.
I mean, you could just add the missing comma. That would work.
They've already done them now, haven't they?
Yeah. There was also attached to this list that I found another list, lists, of things that will stay the same, which is basically everything. Just nothing's going to change. We'll get some new 50p's, that's it.
We'll get some new 50p's and we can still travel.
Yeah,
and I think they even said travelling is more than likely, it's not going to be, obviously for the next 11 months we are going to be able to just go back and forth as we have been, but after 11 months it's still going to be, are you coming back to it?
Yeah, because the majority of Europe, the whole economy depends entirely on tourism.
Mainly from us getting pissed and going abroad to Europe somewhere.
Exactly that. To the better weather parts of Europe.
Exactly.
Yeah, so basically, they've been banging on about Brexit now for X amount of years.
I did see something that was quite interesting about people retiring. Did I write it down?
Are these the expats?
Yeah.
That
So
a lot of them voted leave, even though they will now have to move back to the UK.
No, they won't have to move back. They can. I think they did say that if you retire before this 11 months over there, you'll be fine.
Right.
But you're not going to be able to do that afterwards. So I think it is hilarious that there'd be some people.
Yeah,
that
there were
did
so
vote.
many people that shot themselves in the foot with that just to spite themselves.
It was like, yeah, Barbara, I voted leave, even though I can't fucking retire to France.
I can't live in the fucking Costa del Sol.
Yeah, I want me.
Yeah. Again, as
I
we
want me
mentioned in the
pina
last
coladas.
segment, people are idiots.
Yeah, but I mean, you won't be retiring to Europe.
I will probably die at work. I don't think I'll ever be able to retire, because of the whole, economy falling to pieces and Brexit and, there'll be no pension for us, mate. I won't worry about it.
Best get saving those 50p's then.
Yeah, well, they might be worth a fortune when all of them have been
Get recalled.
defaced.
Yeah, recalled, defaced.
Yeah, when they're all defaced, and I've got 2 or 3 perfect examples in a plastic bag. I might be able to retire if I sell them to a Brexiteer in the future.
Nigel Farage.
Nigel Farage will hopefully be dead soon. By then.
Not a fan of him.
No, him and Jacob Rees-Mogg. Have you any other comments to make on Brexit? Are you worried about Brexit?
I'm not. I'm a.
Will it have any effect on your life?
No, I'm not. I wasn't intended on retiring abroad. I wasn't intended on working abroad.
I might have to get a visa if I travel somewhere.
I mean, to be fair, it's not a massive issue. The only thing is it's faster getting through customs.
It's faster when you have to have a visa. The EU queue is always massive. The non-EU countries, there's never anybody there.
True. Not when you get to Greece, though. Oh, yeah. Actually, to be fair, that was going through the EU thing.
Yeah.
You didn't go through to the same airport as us, did you?
No, totally different. We were like 800 miles away from you.
Were you?
You were on an island.
Oh, I was on an island. Yes, you're right. Yeah. Very true, very true.
But yeah, it's not going to have any effect on me. The work that I do, I work with
Dead
a
things.
solely British product.
Yeah.
That very little of it's exported. It's produced in the UK, for the UK, for the most part. It's not going to affect me. You take pictures or something, you can take pictures in England.
I can make things look pretty in this country, which I intend on doing anyway.
Yeah, so I can't see it affecting the podcast.
No.
So
I mean, we might have to pay it. We'll have to pay a tax to show it in other countries. I doubt.
Yeah, we'll see. Brexit. Hopefully, it won't be on fire.
So, Kobe Bryant,
NBA legend.
Yeah, I mean, I had heard of him, and first of all, it is very tragic.
It's tragic when anybody dies in a terrible helicopter crash.
I've got an issue with the way it's being covered as well. Being covered and people's reactions to it, because as soon as it happened, I think I saw it quite quickly. It kind of like gone on someone's story, and then immediately, of course, I thought, I bet like people like the fucking Kardashians or something will be straight on that. I love him. God rest in peace. And it becomes this thing where people have to immediately go, let me have my say. I miss him. Rest in peace. I'd see I did my good thing there. It's like.
What's the sort of equivalent in the UK? Would it be like David Beckham dying in a helicopter? Wayne Rooney or somebody that played for England?
Probably like Ronaldo.
He's not English.
Okay, not English, but in that sport.
Right. I should have picked a sport that I could relate to be fair.
You don't really do sports?
No.
Do you know any sports?
Only ones where people get hurt. It'd be like Conor McGregor dying and a thing. No, because I think more people would be happy about that.
Probably.
Yeah. Like Israel Adesanya going down in a helicopter crash.
Who?
Israel Adesanya, Stylebender.
Ah, Stylebender. Yeah, no, that would be.
Yeah, it'd be like him going down in a crash. Fair enough.
I kind of feel like he'd be able to like fly out and land perfectly.
Probably. It wasn't just him and his daughter.
No, this is another thing.
Which is my issue, because even in this one, NBA legend Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter and 7 others were killed in a helicopter crash on a steep hillside. Blah, 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 blah.
Did you see who the 7 others were?
No, not listed.
There was 2 other children in there as well.
Was there?
2 other children, yeah.
Oh.
So you had Kobe and his daughter.
Yeah.
You had a coach in there.
Right.
You had the pilot. You had 2 parents and their daughter. The daughter was like I think was playing basketball with his daughter.
Right.
So that was parents and the daughter in there, same age, and another mother and her daughter in there as well, of the same age.
Right.
But we don't talk about that. We don't give a shit about that.
No, nobody gives a shit about that.
We don't give a shit that like.
Yeah, that is pretty tragic, to be honest.
And do you know another thing as well that is really, especially it's American more coverage of this, but they started talking about it. Now the only thing you can really talk about in this situation is it's tragic. Have some taste and just sort of like some people have been showing the pair of them together and blah blah, because I think she was following his footsteps and all this kind of stuff, and she was doing well and all this stuff. But then you've got I saw American coverage of it, and it was like and it started bringing up this like affair he had 10 years ago, and this was like a day afterwards, and you're thinking like he's dead. Like, why are you bringing stuff up about him? Like, do you think like his missus really wants to see, like, she's going to turn over and like she's already upset and she sees like, oh yeah, I remember when he like shagged somebody else.
It's not going to happen, is it?
Yeah.
But in this one, it said it brought up all that at the end of the news article. The article were about these people dying. The last little paragraph is, in 2003, Bryant was charged with attacking a 19-year-old employee at Colorado. He said the 2 had consensual sex. Charges were dropped.
What's the point in that?
Yeah, why add that bit on? Why? I don't know. But then there were some other bizarre things in this. So there's a quote here from Justin Green, an aviation attorney in New York who flew helicopters in the Marine Corps. Mm-hmm. Do you want to know what the quote is?
Go on.
The S-76 is a pretty expensive, sophisticated helicopter. It's certainly a quality helicopter. That's his quote. that were it.
Well, it wasn't equipped with TORS, which is what another American story was saying. TORS is a terrain avoidance warning system, which is apparently
thought that'd be pretty standard in a helicopter.
Well, you think that apparently it's in law in America it's I think it has to be on emergency planes, emergency helicopters, and certain commercial airlines, I think, have to have it.
Right.
It's basically like a sort of depth meter that in ships would have.
Yeah.
But just to tell you if you're flying too low, but it's not law for it to be on what they were in.
It probably should be. If I were in a helicopter, I'd want the pilot to know if he was too close to the
exactly.
terrain.
Well, they released audio as well, conversation back and forth.
Oh.
Well. And it was all about they were just going back and forth, and then you heard one person say, like, "Oh, you're flying too low," basically, and then you just don't hear anything. So they haven't really said, like, as far as I know, what actually happened.
No.
But it just kept going. I mean, they did say there was like thick fog and stuff like that.
It was foggy and.
But you know what?
No, helicopters seem like a pretty unreliable way of travelling.
I was going to say that. I don't like the idea of going on a holiday. The bigger the plane, the better. I wouldn't be keen on going on a tiny prop plane or a helicopter anymore, because it's just that you.
I've done some internal flights in this country, and they've been like washing machines with wings on.
Yeah.
They've been terrible, but I've never crashed and died in a plane crash.
Evidently. But the thing is, it really puts me off, because the amount of people you hear that, like, didn't Colin McRae die in a helicopter crash?
Not skiing.
No, that was what's his name? Michael Schumacher had a skiing accident, and he's still in a coma, although we don't ever hear about it. There's been loads of people. The in football, there was the Leicester City boss died, like last year. There was
that plane full that crashed years ago into a mountain. A Man United team.
Oh, I'm not too sure, but I know what you mean. Yeah, there was a bloke who was coming from a French team, I think. Going to Cardiff.
Yeah, I remember that.
Went down.
There were the pictures of him on the bottom of the sea that got released.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it was him they'd found in there, but they didn't find the pilot.
Yeah.
Which is a bit kind of like
odd.
He's been eaten, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely been eaten.
Which is
Emilio something or other, I think he was. Salah, yeah. Which I liked that story because Leicester that bought him
No, it's Cardiff.
Cardiff had bought him from...
Nantes. Is it Nantes or Nantes?
Nantes still wanted paying.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still demanded payment for him, which I would have thought there'd be some sort of insurance job there.
Yeah.
But I liked that.
We've lost him. Still give us our money.
Yeah, he was on your side of the border.
Yeah.
He was further away from us than he was from you.
This is why I just don't really... I think I'll pass on any travel like that. I'd rather just be in the biggest plane possible.
Yeah, fuck the environment.
Oh yeah, I'm not a follower of Extinction Rebellion. I don't care.
Shout out Extinction Rebellion.
Shout out Extinction Rebellion. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tragic thing that's happened, and the coverage of it's been terrible. Not only it's the same any time a celebrity dies in something like this. Nobody gives a shit about the other people.
No.
You know, like I said, there were 2 or 3 kids. You know, that should be about them, not about some retired basketballer.
There's a great, Paddy. What's his name? McKilty. Is it McKilty? What's his name? I can't remember his bloody name now. He was on Alan Davis's As Yet Untitled, and he said that he was on the plane with Buzz Aldrin, I think, Neil Armstrong. He was on like a plane like that, and he was going into Dublin Airport or whatever, and it was to the point where like he stopped talking, and he was like, the plane was really going to crash, and he said he suddenly had this thought where he went, I'm going to be also on board, aren't I? They're going to report the news tomorrow, and they're going to say,
yeah, Neil Armstrong
dies in plane crash. Also on board was
32 other people. Yeah.
So in that situation, yeah, but it's horrible the way they cover it. Do you know what I mean? And they had people like Shaquille O'Neal was on there. That's it. That they were covering him. And they were showing him because they had like an NBA sort of like panel, and they were all talking about it. And then they were covering over Shaquille O'Neal, and then they brought up the two had beef back in whatever and all this stuff. And I think, like, does that matter?
Yeah.
And I think he turned around and just shut them all down and just went, "Fuck off," basically. As he should.
They were. I don't know. It's mental. Like, there's another quote here that I've only just seen. Tiger Woods. He's not a basketballer, as far as I know. Tiger Woods was unaware of the news during his final round at blah blah blah, playing golf, I assume, when he started hearing the gallery yell, "Do it for Mamba." Apparently, that was Kobe Bryant's nickname, was Mamba. Right. Of course, he didn't know he was playing golf.
Yeah.
And that were it. That's the only time he's mentioned in this full story, and I'm not really sure what relevance.
We just jump immediately to other celebrities when we want to say, how upset are you? How upset are you? Tell us how upset you are. You're upset. Okay, let's bring out some dirt, because we can't actually be bothered to cover what
tragic,
happened.
Yeah, children died. Kobe Bryant died. Oh, by the way, he had charges filed against him that were dropped. He potentially might have been a rapist. That's basically what they ended the story with.
Is that what you're saying?
It did then say the woman later filed a civil suit, settled out of court. So I'm not drawing any conclusions because I don't like to speak ill of the dead, unless they're terrible, terrible human beings like Jimmy Savile
or Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein, yeah, didn't kill himself. What is this shit? Got a good song this week. I quite liked it.
Big Narstie.
Yeah, Big Narstie. And his freestyle for. Well, Daily Duppy for GRM Daily, which I'm sure that would just
you could have been talking.
I could have said any combination of words there and got the same response, I think.
Is that good?
GRM Daily is quite a big sort of grime MC and sort of YouTube channel.
Right.
But about 2.5 million subs.
Right, okay.
And they do quite a few. Well, minimum daily, usually a few a day. Some really big artists and some unknown ones, and give them a sort of step up and a boost. And Big Narstie had one a day or two ago that I sent to you. The lyrical content of which was quite amusing. I think.
Yeah. But first of all, I actually think he's quite funny.
I love Big Narstie
when he's talking anyway.
He was great on British Bake Off.
I didn't see him.
He did Celebrity British Bake Off, and he were fantastic.
I saw him on Would I Lie to You, and they sat him next to David Mitchell. And David Mitchell come out with something, and then he turned around and he just started pissing himself. And he's going, "That was funny, man."
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Just like, "Thank you very much."
David Mitchell just don't understand it
Yeah.
at all. He needs a translator.
Completely different ends of any sort.
Yeah.
Such contrasting people.
He did Big Fat Quiz of the Year. I'm sure he ran a team with Richard Ayoade, the Afro guy out of the IT crowd.
Very weird.
Uptight and it was great.
Funny.
Very good.
I also saw him. Didn't he have a? I don't know whether he still got it, but he had a program, and I think he had Matt Lucas on it.
He had his own TV show. Yeah, I forget what it was called.
Pretended it to be the Little Britain.
Yeah, no.
The song, it was weirdly enjoyable. I liked the lyrics. He's a bit shit at rapping, let's be honest.
He has a certain style.
I mean, he's talking.
He does do a lot of talking.
That was just talking.
He does get a little bit out of breath while he's just talking as well.
Yeah,
you can notice it at certain points.
Yeah.
There's a stretch for some of the rhymes as well. Like he used the word pocket instead of pocket. He's not Scottish. And rhymed the word madness with madness.
Yeah.
At one point.
Cop out.
His crew is tighter than a corset though.
And he's harder than a boner.
Yeah, he is harder than a boner, which were excellent. You ought to watch his Uncle Payne series, will you?
I might have passed me by that one.
Yeah, he did a sort of agony aunt type thing where he used to smoke an awful lot of weed in the back of a car, and his mate would video him very close with a mobile phone with a flash on. And like read questions off Twitter that people had asked about like the missus cheating on him and stuff like that. It was great. It was called Uncle Payne. After agony aunt.
That's why he
does mention Uncle Payne in the
I was wondering
in his thing. Well worth a watch if you've ever got 10 minutes to spare.
Waste,
yeah. Depending on how you look at it. I like this. Like I said, it were enjoyable, even for the comedy value.
Yeah, I quite. Do you know what? In this situation,
bearing in mind that when I turned up, Lewis had Poppy playing,
who, of course,
is dreadful.
I'm going to see Poppy.
Yeah.
In Manchester next month.
Yeah.
Me and Rob are going to see Poppy, and I can't fucking wait.
Fucking losers.
I can't fucking wait.
Goths in disguise.
Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of sweaties there. There will be a lot of sweaties.
There will be a lot of sweaty goths there. Yeah.
But we won't. We'll just be at the back. So if you want to give us a shout out,
Poppy.
Poppy, you shout. She's like, hi.
Hi guys. Hi guys. It's nothing else.
This song.
What, the Daily Duppy?
Was that what it was called?
They're all called the Daily. It's the Daily.
Oh, there wasn't like a song. There wasn't.
No, it's just a freestyle.
Isn't the freestyle supposed to be off the cuff type thing?
It used to be, not so much anymore. There's no such thing as freestyle. They're all massively over prepared.
I was going to say, considering that he's doing this, and
it's basically just less produced now. Is a freestyle.
Well, they looked quite overly produced, that video.
There were some good effects.
Very good effects.
They were very well done.
The video, yeah.
Yeah.
The actual content of his music was fun to listen to, but he's not very good at doing it.
He's not.
There's much better people at it than he is.
His lyrics are good, but his
delivery.
Ability,
yeah.
Not quite so good.
No, not as keen on that, but
no.
I quite enjoyed it. It's one of the better raps. That
because while we had our little break at Christmas, there was some great content released by some of the people that we've featured in the past. Bugsy Malone, Tom McDonald, have both had some interesting songs released. But
has H done anything?
I think so. I try not to look at H as much as possible. But that.
What about Big Heath?
Big Heath hasn't, unfortunately.
He hasn't. He had a heart attack
quite often. He looks like he's about to. I did like the one with Skip Marley that Bugsy Malone did.
Is that the one you sent me?
Yeah, I sent it you.
I'm not going to lie. I skipped forward. I probably listened to about 4 seconds of it.
You'd like that one, I think. Yeah, maybe we'll do a special Bugsy Malone and Tom McDonald episode at some point.
Yeah, we're still waiting to hear back from them. So
friends of the show. Friends of the show. Yeah. Maybe we should start messaging more people.
Tom McDonald, if you're in Manchester, pop along.
Yeah, to the Poppy concert.
To the Poppy concert.
Poppy concert, yeah. Canadian rapper Tom McDonald
joins North and Mouth to watch Poppy.
Yeah. One half of North and Mouth. I'm not a god, so I'm not going.
Right.
Do we rate these? Or are you going to have a rant about Poppy and not being a goth?
No. I was going to say, you did agree if there was space that you would go to Poppy.
I said I would consider it to stop you pecking my head about it.
Well, you may have lucked out because they are sold out.
They are sold out.
They are sold out.
I was not expecting that.
Sold out. She's sold out everywhere in England now.
Right. Strange that.
Well, if you'd have come to that, I would have considered going to Bugsy Malone. In a concert type environment, say like a goth type one,
yes,
or a metal one, whatever, there'd be people mosh pits and stuff like that.
Yes.
What happens at something like a Bugsy Malone?
Bugsy Malone has a song called Mosh Pit.
I bet it's not.
It's about mosh pits. He has mosh pits.
He has mosh pits?
Yes, they're not, solely for goths.
Yeah, but are the rules of a mosh pit at a gig like that the same?
I will
as
let you listen
one?
to the song Mosh Pit by Bugsy Malone.
I bet
you will be
dreadful.
surprised.
I bet it's dreadful.
I'm not advocating for it, but it does exist.
It's shit then, right?
Right. Do we rate these?
We don't, but I enjoyed it, so do better next time.
Yeah. Just write it next time, Big Narstie. Let somebody else with some talent do it.
Thanks for watching the latest episode of the North and Mouth podcast. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to head over to our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram feed, you can see all the stuff that we're up to. Not that much, it's just talking and shit.